Space Jace, not a queer background, plain white background. I'm in the closet because I need some privacy to film. As requested, I'm going to be sharing my coming out letter that I made for my parents last year. In this letter, there's a part where I say my dead name in it, like in the actual letter. I'm not going to say my dead name because it's not really anybody else's business, but I'll briefly explain what I said about it, and there are people's names in here that, like, you know, I will also explain, but this letter is dated December 8th, 2016, and it reads, "Dear Mom and Dad, I've probably deleted and rewritten bits and pieces of this letter more than once already. There's something I've been wanting to tell you, but didn't, and I'm still unsure the right words to say. Within the family, I've already told Brian, my older brother by 2 years, and Jennifer, my younger cousin, by 4 years. Brian said Mom would be easier to talk to, but Dad might be more accepting, in a sense." Italicized. Rhetorical. When I was born, you still would have kept, accepted, and loved me, even if I was born a boy, right? Well, after reading that rhetorical question, you could probably come up with some assumptions of what you might read next. I'm transgender. That means I feel like my gender identity doesn't match the gender I was born with. Your reaction and thought process following could go a few ways. The first, which I don't think is the case, is that you are full-blown supportive and or knew all along. The second is that you don't understand but are willing to try to understand and be supportive. The third and last is that you aren't understanding or supportive. I've already come out to a handful of friends, not all of whom you know. I've come out to my best friends, and the two you know included are Megan and Sarah. I've also told Eric, an old family friend that I've known for like 10 years, and again, some other friends you don't know. I've come out to one of my close trans friends that I've known since high school. They've all been wildly supportive, and it made me feel so good, comfortable, and confident to come to the terms to say to myself, I'm a guy. I identify as male, and this is who I am. I know you're probably confused, and this will be a hard obstacle, and there will be a lot of changes, but since I highly doubt either of you have questioned your gender before, I'm going to say that you won't understand all my reasons or why I feel like this. You won't understand what it feels like for me to have gender dysphoria and feel dysphoric when I dress femininely or obviously look female or have feminine pronouns thrown at / used when talking about me, she, her, hers, sister, daughter, niece. There are more ways I feel dysphoric than just those few listed. I know it's probably difficult to see your child change, but I'm still the same person. I just don't feel the same gender I was born as. Don't worry, I'm still as sassy as ever and will probably almost burn the house down some other time. You know, once we find a toaster. Small story time. We had a toaster that eventually just kind of broke down and like didn't warn us, like it didn't beep or ring or whatever whenever our things were ready. So we have this backing up against the wall. And I accidentally made a black spot on the backing up against the wall, so I possibly could have burned the house down, but it wasn't entirely my fault. In case you think it might, yelling, belittling, or calling names won't solve anything. You know I rarely ask for help from others, but I want your support. Even though it's a lot to take in, if you're willing to try and understand, I can help with that. For starters, there's PFLAG. Listen and educate yourself. Read books, blogs, watch YouTube videos of other trans folks who have and or are transitioning. I don't 100% know what your guys' stances are on transgender people, but an important thing to know, it's not a choice. You, Mom and Dad, aren't going to choose to be the opposite gender just because. I know a lot of things are going to be more challenging for me, but I hate this body. This gender I was born with is not what I identify with. There's things like surgery, name and gender change, and hormone replacement surgery to think about. And the simple response to that is, I want surgery. I want my name and gender legally changed. I want to go on hormone replacement therapy. And I know that my name could be changed to first half of my dead name, or the second half of my dead name sounding like a guy's name. I know Nicole, my older sister, could be changed to Nick, Allison, my younger sister, to Al, and Brian, my brother, to Brianna. Brian seemed kind of upset when I told him I wanted to change my name because he said you guys were so strategic about being able to change our names if need be. I don't think you chose our names hoping or expecting that one or more of us may be transgender though. but I want to change my first name to Jace and my middle name to Daniel, or I would like to be called Jace. My preferred pronouns are he, him, his. We can talk more about this later. P.S. Please don't do that thing that you usually do and trap me in the car to talk to me about this. That gives me anxiety attacks. Your son, Jace. So, while I was reading that, I did a few things with my hands. This meant parentheses, this meant italicized, this meant underlined. But hopefully that helps give kind of like a template for other trans folks planning to come out to their parents or a friend or a family member or someone that they know who is near and dear to their heart. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. Yeah, thanks for watching.